wanna be, I 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 wanna be a pirate too. I wanna be, 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 I wanna be a pirate too. Lived on the land, lived by the shore, danced like around till he got bored. Looked to the sky, looked to the sea, shot into the waves, now can't you see? I'm just a lad, I'm all alone, my mother's gone, I've got no home. I'll grab my gear and head to town so the whole damn world can hear my sound. I wanna be, 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 I wanna be a pirate too.
Hey folks, my name is Dr. Michael Torres. I'm the captain of the Black Dive Exploration Team. And we've been at expedition for about 4 years now, collecting raw content, and due to the pandemic, we've actually been able to edit the video into a watchable format to get out to you guys, so we can kind of share our story, and this is one of them. Right after Hurricane Michael about 2 years ago, we decided that we were going to head north from our base in Melbourne, Florida, and hit the coastline between St. Augustine and Daytona. And in a very secluded portion of the river, eroding from the dunes, we found a 17th century Spanish shipwreck that was in fairly close proximity to the ruins of a Spanish fort. We were looking for evidence of Sir Francis Drake using these waterways to blockade St. Augustine during the privateering raids in the early part of this 15th century. What you're looking at right now is the decking of a late 16th century, early 17th century Spanish ship that went down possibly at sea due to the shifting sands. A lot of the time the dunes will erode during hurricanes and expose some of these ships. That right there, what you're looking at, that's the hull. As the camera turns, you can make out the shape of the ship, and you can see what's left of the stern castle. Now, the stern castle was where the captain and the precious cargo would have been stored, and this ship is in fairly good shape due to the oyster bed that grew around it over the centuries. Now, when the hurricane had come in and eroded the dune, it eroded most of the other debris that was around the ship, except for the ship itself, because the oyster bed had actually grown into what was left of the ship itself. And as my team and I searched around the ship, we started discovering artifacts, precious metals, coins, and we have included them in this video. We found a lot of decking spikes from the 15th, 16th, and 1700s, probably from ships passing by, since it was the back door to St. Augustine. And a lot of ships that probably most likely went down in these waters. Now you can see the outline of the stern castle right there. So we've also found pieces of 8 and what we call contraband, which is gold that the sailors melted down themselves to take back to Spain for themselves and not allow the king to tax it, which was punishable by death, so they hid it pretty well on the ship. The coins themselves were dated 1658. That's the decking of the ship right there. It's in pretty good condition. You can see where the oyster bed had grown around it. And as we searched on, we kept finding very interesting pieces. Now, the piece coming up right here is that contraband I was speaking about. This is the gold that we found. They would smelt that crudely just so they could smuggle it out to get back home. This is a piece of 8 we found fairly close to the ship, within 100 yards. When we brought it up, it originally was encrusted. This is after we had cleaned it. It took a microflying glass to actually figure out what the date was, but we figured it out. This is a part of what we believe is the sail rings, is the actual stud. This is a belt buckle that most likely went down with one of the crew members. It's heavily encrusted, and I believe it's brass. Artifacts like this you find all over shipwrecks in the area. It's a very commonly found item for sailors to have on them. Obviously clothes. You don't want them walking around naked. Unless you do, which is fairly weird. But, you know, whatever. What I'm holding in my hand right now is that piece of 8 that I showed you earlier that we'd cleaned. This is how silver coins come up from the ocean floor. They come up heavily encrusted, and what we do is we put them in muriatic acid to clean them. It works pretty well. It doesn't harm the silver. We were still able to make out details in the coin itself, the Spanish cross, the towers of Gibraltar. It was a nice piece. We were very excited about it. It's nice to find pirate treasure. If you enjoyed this video, you can go see the rest of our videos on our YouTube channel, The Black Dive. We have episodes on there now, discovery of the Civil War fort, the discovery of the missing skirmish lines, and what we've been pulling up here lately. It's pretty interesting. You guys should check it out and subscribe if you like it. Till next time, guys, have a good one. Be safe.